Okay then guys, are you ready to find out about today's literacy job? So, today we're going to do a little bit like the job we did when we were looking at Soup Potato all those weeks ago. Can you remember what job we did after we read the story? We did something really clever, didn't we? And we did something called describing what Soup Potato was like. Can you remember what that clever word describe means? When we describe something, it means that we're trying to explain exactly what something is like, doesn't it? Now, when we were thinking about Soup Potato, we used some clever words to help us. Can anyone remember? What are those clever words that help us to describe things? It starts with an A. Can I hear anyone say it? I think I just heard someone. Well done if you can remember. They are our adjectives. Can you say that word with me? Adjectives. Well done. And remember, our adjectives are all those words that help us describe exactly what something is like. They tell us what colour something is, what size it is, what shape it is. They tell us what someone is like. All of those words that tell us exactly what something is like are our adjectives. They are what makes our description, our describing, really, really good. So today, we're going to try and use those in our writing. Now, I think we're going to be pretty fabulous at this because I remember seeing some amazing adjectives that you chose when we did our Soup Potato work. So I bet we'll have no problems with this job today. Now, when we do describing, we know that we've done a really good job, don't we? If the person that's reading what we've written can picture in their heads exactly what the thing is we're writing about. So, for example, if someone had never ever seen Superworm, okay, and they were writing our description of what he was like, if they could picture what he was like in their heads just by what we've written, then we've done a really good job, okay? That's our goal for description. We want the person who's reading it to be able to picture what we're writing about in our heads. Now today, you can choose. You might choose to describe Superworm today, or you might choose to describe Wizard Lizard. Ooh, it's completely up to you. Now, sometimes those sneaky mean characters are much easier to write about because there's so many different things that we could say about them. But for today, I'm sticking with good old Superworm. Now, like I say, guys, it's up to you. If you fancy doing Wizard Lizard instead, that is absolutely fine. But whichever character you choose, the first thing you need to do is draw me a picture of them in your home learning book, okay? So here's my picture of Superworm. Once you've drawn your picture, could you write the name of the character that you've chosen up above it so that anyone that looks at it knows exactly who you are writing about today? So here we go. Superworm. Now, because we're writing today, guys, we want to be thinking really carefully about holding our pens or pencils properly, don't we, using our tripod grip, forming our letters nice and neatly, and using those sounds to help us write down all the things we can hear in our words, okay? So lots of thinking to be done today. Now, we said last time that to write really good description, we need to think about what our character looks like, what they do, and what their personality is like, okay? Now for your picture today, I'd like you to stick to what they look like and what they do. We're going to save personality for a minute later, okay? So, let's have a little look at old Superworm here. What does it say in the story that Superworm is? It says he's super long, doesn't it? He's got a long body. So that could be my first label today. Super. Okay. Long. And I've space because I've gone on to a new word. Body. Well done. Now remember, when you're writing today, sound out those words for me. Think about the sounds you can hear, and then think about the letters that you've learnt to write those sounds down. If you get stuck, guys, where can you look today? On your sound mats. Well done. If you come across a sound and you think, oh, well, I just don't know, I've not learnt how to write that sound down yet, what could you do then? Well done. Just leave it, okay? Write the sounds down that you do know, and don't worry about the ones that you don't know. I don't mind that at all. Of course, if you want to, you can always ask your grown-up for a bit of help too. But if you want to just stick to what you know, just write down the ones that you know today. That's absolutely fine, okay? Super long body. Now, have I used an adjective there? Yes, I have. Well done. Long is an adjective. It's telling me that his body is long. Now that's really handy, because if I just said he looked like a worm, he might be a teeny tiny worm. He might be the world's longest worm. I didn't say, did I? So by using the word long, I'll help the person looking at my work to know that superworm is a long worm, not a short one. Okay, what colour is Superworm's body? Can you remember? Well done, his body is brown. So my next label is going to be brown. Brown. Well done. Okay, what else could I say about him? He has always got what on his face? Is he always looking sad? No, he's always smiley, isn't he? He has a very smiley face, old Superworm. So I'm going to put that he always has a smile. He always has a smile on his face. Now, guys, you keep going. You keep labelling the different things that you can describe for me about what he looks like or what he does. And once you've done that, for your ideas about what his personality is like, we are going to use our sentences, okay? Because we've been practicing those, haven't we? And we're getting really good at writing our sentences now. Now, I used quite a big word there, didn't I? Personality. Can you say that big word? Personality. Well done. What do I mean? If I say the word personality, what do I mean? It means that I'm thinking about what Superworm is like. Okay, how does he behave? How does he treat people? That's his personality. What is he like as a person? Now, Superworm was so kind and helpful, wasn't he? So those are two adjectives I could use to describe his personality. Now, I'm not going to put them in a label. I'm going to put them in a sentence. So would I just write kind and helpful? I can't, can I? That's not a sentence. Remember, a sentence has to be a whole idea, not just a couple of words. So these are labels. They can just be one or two words, okay? When we write a sentence, we have to put our words into a whole idea. Can anyone have a go? How might I put kind and helpful into a sentence? Who's feeling clever today? Well done. He is kind and helpful. That's a whole idea. Can you hear the difference? He is kind and helpful. That's a whole idea. If I just said kind and helpful, that's not a whole idea. Okay? So, when you have a go at writing your sentence for me today, try and make sure you've got a whole idea in there. Now, what have we learnt about how we start a sentence? Do we use a big letter or a small letter? A big one. Well done. And hey, he is one of our newer tricky words, isn't it? He. He. Now, if you can't remember what your tricky word looks like, where can you look, guys? on your tricky word map. Well done. Right, I've written my first word. What do I need to do now? Finger space. Well done. He is. Now, why do I need a finger space, guys? Good job. If I forgot my finger space, it would just be one big word, wouldn't it? It would say his. And that wouldn't make sense. So I use my finger space to show when I finished one word and when I'm starting my next one. Okay? He is, so another finger space now because I finished is, kind. And he is kind. And, so another finger space because I'm going on to a new word. And helpful. Another finger space. Helpful. Full. He is kind and helpful. Now, what's this little dot that I've put at the end of my sentence, guys? A full stop. Well done. And why do I put a full stop at the end of my sentence? Because it shows that I finished. Excellent thinking today, guys. So I've got a capital letter to show I'm starting a sentence, a full stop to show I finished my sentence, and then my finger space is in between my words to show where one word finishes and another one begins. So, there you have it, guys. Choose which character you'd like to describe, Superworm or Wizard Lizard. Draw a picture of them for me first of all. Write their name up at the top so we know who it is. Label some of the things that you can tell me about what they look like or what they do using those adjectives. Well done. And then your last job, because we're getting a bit snazzy now, write me a sentence to tell me what you think they are like. Now, because I'm writing on the board, my sentence has gone a bit wibbly wobbly, hasn't it? But try and use the lines in your books. Remember to try and keep those letters on the line. Keep them nice and straight for me. Okay. Off you go then, team. Think about which character you'd like to do and have a really good go for me at describing what they look like and what their personality is like. And I'll look forward to seeing some examples of what you get up to when we're back in school. Have lots of fun, guys, and I'll see you after break, ready for our maths.